Hey guys, and welcome back to an old series on my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be telling you everything I've watched, read and played in January 2023. So I did this series maybe 3 or 4 years ago and just stopped doing it for some reason, but I really enjoyed doing it. So in this series, if you haven't watched any, we talk about all of the films, TV shows, books and video games I have watched, read and played during the month. Needs no explanation really. So like I say, this will be happening every month for the foreseeable. So let's start with films, and this is going to be very short because I haven't watched any films in January, to be honest with you. Don't know why, I just, I've been doing other things, I haven't had the time. No films at all to talk about, so this one's very short. Now on to TV shows. I've only actually watched one, and that is Harry and Meghan on Netflix. I don't really want to get into politics too much here, nor will I, but everybody was talking about Harry and Meghan. I haven't read Harry's autobiography that recently came out. This is Prince Harry, for everyone who may not know. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I don't really want to talk about my opinions on it in a weird way. As you know, I study royal history, so I really am watching it just for history reasons rather than, there's this huge discourse on Twitter about it. I don't really get involved with those kind of arguments. All I will say is there were some very good, very interesting points raised, particularly about the state of the royal family, which is not new. It's not a foreign concept. The royal family has always been throughout history problematic. It's done some fantastic things for the country, but it's also been quite problematic. So I'm not surprised, put it that way, at what Harry and Meghan are saying in the documentary, and I will leave it there. I don't really want to get too much into it. So now we're moving on to books, and I do have the books here to show you. So first up we have Gimson's King and Queens. Brief Lives of the Monarchs since 1066. This is exactly what it says on the tin. It's by Andrew Gimson. Like I said, I study royals, so particularly, like I say, British royals, English royals. So it's every single monarch, and what I do like of this one, I will show you quickly. I haven't prepared, I haven't taken the dust jacket off, but if you look here, it's got a timeline. I don't know how well you can see that. It might actually be flipped on the camera. But it's got a timeline of every single king and queen we've ever had, including Empress Matilda and Lady Jane Grey, who don't often get talked about half as much as they should. So, like I say, huge history buff, as you know, and it's just a brief bite-sized glimpse of every monarch, really, in English history. Obviously Prince Charles. Obviously King Charles is not featured in this because I think this was 2010 it came out, something like that. So obviously quite outdated now. Still quite an interesting one if you want to get into the monarchs and a brief history of them. Next up is not really a book per se, but it's something I got for Christmas from my friend Katie. The Mindfulness Puzzle Book 2 by Dr. Gareth Moore. Now, I'm not really huge into these kind of books, so it's got crosswords and, all sorts of things, puzzles, mazes, that kind of thing. It's not really something I enjoy too much. However, I have found this quite relaxing at times, so just something to sit and do for 10 minutes a day, something like that. Moving on, I'm currently reading this book, so it isn't actually finished at time of recording. I'm about halfway through. I'll probably be finished within the next couple of days, I would say. But this is True Blood and Philosophy. We Want to Think Bad Things with You. This is an unofficial book, and it's a series of ... and philosophy. So I know they do Alice in Wonderland and philosophy, Batman and philosophy, lots of other bits like that. This is basically a compilation of essays from different types of people talking about philosophy within True Blood and how it relates to the real world. So for example, the analogy of vampires coming out of the coffin, and obviously gay people coming out of the closet. So it's an analogy there, and very interesting. There was something about animal rights, which I found absolutely fascinating. And it's a book you don't have to sit and read in one go if you don't want to, because like I said, it's a collection of essays, so you can pick it up as and when you want. But if you are interested in philosophy, I didn't think I was too interested in philosophy, to be honest, until I started reading pop culture books like this. And now I'm super into philosophy, and I actually want to take it as some sort of educational course. So yeah, turns out I have more of an interest in philosophy than I thought. And the last book, again, not technically a book, but it's 52 lists for happiness, weekly journaling, inspiration for positivity, balance and joy by Moria Seal. I hope I've said that right. This was a charity shop find. I think it cost me a couple of pounds, and I thought it'd be something to start the new year off. Every Sunday I sit and do my list for the week. So I'm not going to show you the lists that I've done, obviously, because they're quite personal, but I will tell you a couple of prompts. So we have list what makes you happy right now, list the best choices you've made in your life so far, list the things you like to do that don't involve technology, you know, so we all get off our phones, list the things that made you happy as a child, that kind of thing. So I have done a few lists, obviously. I'm not going to go into my lists because, like I said, they're quite personal. But for someone who has mental health difficulties, just sitting down and writing things down like this I find quite therapeutic. So I've really, really enjoyed that. So that's all the books. So finally we are on to video games. So a lot of these video games, in fact all of them, I can't actually show you because they're all digital. But we started playing Joyride Turbo last year on the Xbox Game Pass. It is an Xbox 360 game, but we're playing it on the Xbox One. It's basically a racing game. I'm not a huge racing game fan, but me and Carl have really been enjoying playing it together. Then, of course, I've been playing The Sims 4. I did start the Not So Berry challenge, but I kind of haven't played that in a while. But my most recent Sims 4, I'm just trying to think now, my recent Sims 4 Let's Play was a cottagecore bunny obsessed lady. So I wonder who that is. And then we have one mobile game, which is a game called BeatStar, which I have obviously on my mobile phone. It's basically one of those games where a song plays and you have to sort of tap along to the song. And I find it quite relaxing, to be honest. And it's also a good introduction to songs that I might not have heard before. So yeah, I do enjoy BeatStar. Next up, we have a game, unfortunately, I did not enjoy, only played it once, and that is Fusion Frenzy. Again, it's an old Xbox game, an original Xbox game that was on the Game Pass, so we downloaded that. Not a fan of it. So it's basically like a brawl kind of game. I don't know what you call them. It's like an arcade game where you can play couch co-op and the other two characters are AI generated and you have to fight each other to get orbs and that kind of thing and take them back. If you've played, you'll know what I'm talking about. It wasn't for me at all. I didn't enjoy it. Played it once and we uninstalled it. So next up, I am of course a huge Elder Scrolls fan, if you didn't know, and I have started a new playthrough of Oblivion this year, which is my favourite Elder Scrolls game of them all. And my current character, is it a sneak archer? It's a sneak archer. I always end up resorting to playing a sneak archer, but archery really is my favourite form in RPG games, and I'm really, really enjoying my current playthrough, so you'll probably hear about that more in February's. Also, when it comes to these games, I will be doing a similar video on my Ember Games channel, so if you'd like to hear more of a deep dive into the games, then pop on over there and see my other video when we talk about video games a little bit more. So the last two to talk about is Star Wars Battlefront, the original one on the Xbox, and Star Wars Battlefront 2, again, the original one on the Xbox. Basically, they are Carl's favourite games, or one of Carl's favourite games. I'd never played Star Wars Battlefront before, and he downloaded the remasters and didn't enjoy them at all. So we decided to buy him the originals back, and he's been loving them. So I was playing them with him. Not really my kind of thing, to be honest. Not a huge shooters fan. I have played Call of Duty and some other bits, but I'm not a huge fan of shooters. But I've been enjoying it somewhat. He's really enjoying it, so I guess that's what counts. But that is all of the games I've played, and that is everything for the month. So like I said, there is a similar, but not quite the same, video going up on my Ember Games channel if you'd like to go ahead and watch that. That's a lot more video game focused. And that's it from me this month. The last video of the month, yeah, so hopefully I will see you in the meantime, but if I don't, then stay tuned for February's Everything I Watched, Read and Played, and I will hopefully speak to you all soon. And let me know, is there anything that you want to share, a book that you've read, a film that you've watched, a TV show or a video game? Let us know in the comments below what you're really enjoying at the moment. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.